You must trust me on this.
I'm 39, so I need to go get down and stretch. He needs to stretch too, don't you? How long you got to stretch for before you get on the court?
So half the practice starts.
I got sick. I was hit with a blood disorder. Body's working against me. It almost ended my career. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome to Rise with Kel. Thank you for being here. This channel's about encouraging you to have an active mind, to have an active body, and to create an active lifestyle just so we can live the life that we want to live. Today, talking about ways to keep moving forward when it just feels like you can't. And it's something that I've had to deal with for most of my life. I've asked this question to myself, to my friends, to God, the moon, Thor, everybody. Like, how do I keep moving forward when ... is happening in my life? A great example of that for me is I've been playing here in the Philippines for the last 15 years. Back in 2009, after having a pretty great start to my career, a few years in, I got sick. I was hit with a blood disorder. It almost ended my career just as it was starting. Obviously, that was one of the major challenges for me to try to work through and trying to figure out, how do I stay motivated? How do I keep my mind in a positive mind state? How do I have hope for something when right now the circumstances feel like shit? My body's working against me. And that blood disorder and that health scare took me out of the game for about 4 or 5 months. And I came back, but I came back as a totally different person, physically, mentally, psychologically, with medications and things going on. The question was constant. And I was constantly asking myself, what is the purpose? What am I even doing this for? Is it worth it? But the biggest question was that, like, how do I keep moving forward? It feels like I can't. Tons of causes for that, right? Just given this pandemic and all the changes and the effects it's had on all of us, financially, emotionally, mentally is a huge one. Losing loved ones, losing jobs, losing opportunities, all sorts of things going on caused us to ask that question. So in this episode, we're going to try to dive into that and see if something resonates with you. Hopefully it does. This type of content is something that you feel and you resonate with. Subscribe. Some of us are just more prone to depression and having to deal with the heaviness. Can't do it, or I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything today, right? Whether it be chemical imbalances or, rough upbringings or abuse. To me, I think common thing there is all those things really affect us mentally more so than anything. That's the biggest obstacle that we usually have to go through, the mental barriers, in order to keep moving. We've all searched here on YouTube how-tos and motivational videos and this and that. I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm demotivated, I'm big on working out. That's my personal therapy, and I try to share that with people, and that's what I try to encourage people to do. But when I'm in those modes, especially when I was unconscious of my power to overcome and combat these feelings, just thinking about working out, being productive would drain me. You ever been so emotionally drained? Say from, you get into a fight or going through a breakup, you'll just be so emotionally drained throughout the day that every little thing would trigger like a stomach ache. And let me know if you felt like this before as well. But for me, when I've been in those moments of super down, demotivated, and just feeling stuck, when I hear people talking about being empowered and overcoming and reading all these posts, for me in those moments, it's like it does the opposite. I'd almost get angry. I don't want to hear about this right now. I'm feeling like shit. As someone who has overcome and believes that we can overcome whatever, I also want people to know that they're not alone, and let people know that, we all deal with these sorts of things and meet you at your level, like where you're at. I've been angry in the past and those types of things because I feel like people were kind of talking down at me, like I'm not good enough or whatever. Maybe it's my own personal issues. Like I said, let me know below if that's something you've dealt with as well, so I don't feel alone and crazy. I say all that to say, I understand how it feels, and it's something that I'm conscious of now, but I also still have those feelings, and I still have those days where I just don't feel like it. And so I have to find ways in order to move forward. Here's some of the main things I would share to you that I've done and am doing that could help you to break the slump and hopefully overcome. It's not a bad thing. It's not, those posts weren't bad posts. It's just I guess it was my own shit. Try to compartmentalize your issues, every aspect. Work, finances, relationships, friendships. There's a good chance that not all of those things, not every aspect of your life is bad. There's some aspect in your life that's good. More likely than not, there's more aspects that are okay. Like for me in the past, it would affect me mentally. It's impacting my game on the court. I don't want to talk to people, so it's impacting my friendships. And in turn, it's impacting my health. And that's not what you want to do. Take some time. If you're going through some issues, acknowledge that that's where you're at right now, but then appreciate the other aspects of your life that's working. If your work life is going well, when you're at work, focus on that. Go out with friends. You have income, you have a job, be grateful. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It doesn't mean the things that are difficult don't stop coming, but you have tools that we can use in order to deal with them. The next thing I would say is to stop comparing yourself. If you're a big social media person and you're on Instagram and you're flicking through your feed and you're seeing all these celebrities and or even friends or families, they're living their best lives. You're looking at yourself thinking, I should be living like this, and I wish I was doing this, and it gets you down. If that's you, first I would say just put the phone down. Turn off the apps and take some time and realize we are all individuals on this earth doing the best we can with what we have. But understand that most people aren't living their best lives. They're just posting the best parts of their day, and that's what we see. Don't believe the hype. And I'm saying this because this is something that I've had to deal with as well. When my kids left, when I would see associates and friends posting pictures with their family, videos with their kids, I would feel like jealous, almost angry, because I wanted that. And it was taken away from me. That's something I've had to deal with. I've had to just turn it off and focus on getting myself right. Another big thing that's helped me is creating a routine. If you haven't watched a past video about having tools for pandemic, check it out. But my morning routine now consists of doing gratitude affirmations, doing mirror work, and taking time, meditating, staying off my phone. When I am dealing with certain things, the morning routine gives me something tangible to hold on to. It gives me a sense of stability and security. It's like a restart. And I'm sure a lot of you have been to that place where, man, I wish I can just start with a clean slate. If you're physically able to, go out and get active. Or if you can't go out, you're in isolation, whatever it may be, do something to get your body active. Release those endorphins to start getting your mind pumped up. Do a Google search or hit a search engine and put in endorphins and see the science behind it. Some of you guys are science heads. Allow your body to do what it does. Our body's in its natural state, wants to heal, wants to be whole. And a lot of times we get in the way of that. On my worst days, at least I have an hour, 2-hour window of just not thinking about anything and feeling good and feeling present. By the time I get out of the gym, I've put things into perspective just because I've allowed myself to be present, focus on the gym, focus on my workout, allowing the dopamine to do what they do. But it's also important to understand that good or bad, this is all temporary. So if you're going through a rough time right now, you don't feel motivated, you don't take time, just take time. Don't force yourself to do anything. I know everybody's big on getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things that are tough in order to succeed and blah, blah, blah. But, go at your own pace. Don't be forced to do anything you don't feel mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally ready for. Take time for yourself. It's okay that you feel bad. That just means there's something that needs to be worked on. But realize, even in your worst, it's all temporary. This is a temporary moment in your life, and it's not going to last forever. What happens afterwards depends on how you handle yourself now, which is why I encourage you to start doing some of the internal work, even in the midst of this. Build yourself up. In the hardest moments, the smallest increment of improvement or the smallest increment of effort, you can look back and say, man, you know what? I didn't let that thing completely destroy me. And try for you, not in comparison to what everybody else is doing. You know what you're doing. You know where you want to be. If you don't, get to know those things. You can't hit the bullseye if you don't have a board. You can't run through the finish line if there are no lanes. So you can look back and say, this thing didn't destroy me. I'm here, I'm strong, it didn't last. And that's where you really want to be. Also, it's important to understand that you're not alone. I hope and believe that you can relate to some of the stuff we've talked about here. It's common to feel like I don't feel like getting out of bed. It's common to feel like I just want to curl up on the couch and not talk to anybody. It's common. You can have humongous dreams and goals and feel motivated every other day to do it, but then some days it's like, no, I want to do this YouTube thing. But there's some days where I'm like, man, I don't feel like filming. I don't feel like writing out or discussing the next episode. There's some days you just feel like that. The effort that we put in now is going to pay off on the back end once all this stuff passes by. And if you're doing great, awesome. Keep doing great. Keep doing great things. Keep being great. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Hopefully you resonated with some of that, if not all of it. Again, it's important to have tools. It's important to have a proper perspective in dealing with these things because you can move forward. It may feel like you can't, but you can, 100%. And for those who follow the PBA, we have amazing news. The season is starting. All this stuff I've been doing for the past several months and trying to get myself back in shape and in tune, gelled with my teammates. It's now, going to be put to the test and it's going to start. And I'm super excited about it. Hopefully you are too. In the coming episodes, I'm going to dive a little deeper in some of the pro basketball, I want to say issues, but pro basketball topics that will hit close to home for some. It's starting soon. Hopefully you can catch some of the games. Watch our team. I know all the other players are, dying to get back on the court and get competitive again. So it's going to be a fun little season. I've said before, this is a time of patience, but also a time of protection. So keep yourself safe. Be smart for your loved ones and the people around you. Be considerate, and in time we'll get through this and we'll be able to navigate this new normal. If you made it this far, I just want to thank you for spending some time with me. I love all the responses and the comments I've gotten over the past couple of months. It's been awesome. So if you haven't already, put your feet down tomorrow and get active. All right? See you next time.
All right, we're here at the facility. For the sake of safety and privacy, I couldn't show everybody on the bus, but we're all being safe and social distancing. You must trust me on this. Changed. I need to go stretch. These guys are young. They just go out there and just start shooting. I'm 39, so I need to go get down and stretch. He needs to stretch too. Don't you? How long you got to stretch for before you get on the court?
Till half the practice starts.
Yeah, so we're going to get into it and see what happens. All right, post-practice, done, tired, a lot of shooting, a lot of reps, good stuff though. Let's see what this motherfucker got to say. What you think about today's practice, dog?
It was easy, man. Easy.
Well, we're gonna look at the footage and see how easy it was for Ryan.
Bent over, huffing and puffing, tired.
That's how the vet game works. So.